Fancy some of that Swedish solidity, but haven't got the wedge for a new 9.3? Easy. You need one of these. A car with an image so immaculate it could hold confession and communion. The Saab 900, the car that nice people drive.
You think I'm generalising, don't you? But it's true. 900s are driven by upright, decent, professional types who cherish them, service their Saabs on the dot, and don't drive like psychopaths, which is why they make stonking second-hand buys.
Like this spotless J-Reg 900i 16 valve, just run in at 120,000 miles, it'll do the same again without even pausing for breath. Instant respectability for £3 grand. For a bit of discreet mischief, go for the turbo. The 16 valve 900 often comes with air, leather and heated seats. Group 17 means high insurance, but used prices are lower than you think. This 89F cost $3,500. Dearer but much more desirable is the 900 convertible. You can have a normal 16 valve or the 175 brake turbo ragtop. Best bet is the blown 16 valve S, and batting starts at around £7 grand. This is the slowest depreciating 900 of them all.
Now it's solid! Solid as a rock!
You get a brilliant heater, cavernous boot, crisp front-wheel drive handling, and the sort of build quality that would give a British shop steward a heart attack. Which is why the trade call the Saab 900 the Rock of Ages.
Solid as a rock!
This is a vehicle that we actually sold 13 years ago. It's now done 232,000 miles and has had 2 owners. We see probably 3 or 4 a year like this. The 100,000 mile plus car is very, very common. They are very well put together. Build quality is extremely high. I've never seen one with structural rust. And the components that go into the cars, the engines and the gearboxes, are quite literally bomb-proof.
I've had this car for about 2 years. It's done 226,000. Well, I've paid just over £1,500 for it, and I've spent £300 except for the services.
I've owned the car 10 years. It's now done 254,000, and I get a great deal of pleasure out of the car. It does a lot of things well. Carries a great deal. Goes well. It's a car that stands out from the masses. I took the car down to Goodwood. The car had done 190,000 at the time, and spent the whole day racing around Goodwood Circuit using all the revs, and I had a great deal of fun.
3 years ago I bought this for £3,500. It's done 129,000 miles. It's got leather, cruise control, it's got all the luxuries I need, and it's just built like a tank, and I love it.
"900s may be built like concrete bunkers, but after 10 trips around the world, even a Saab's entitled to a little bit of wear and tear." Gearboxes can give up the unequal struggle at around 200,000. Listen for a whining noise like dying dogs in 3rd and 5th. And if your handbrake reaches to the roof, it could mean neglected rear brakes, and you could be letting yourself in for a couple of new calipers. Power steering is standard on all 900s, but the rack goes out to lunch every 100,000 or so. And engines will need a timing chain every 70,000. Listen for the telltale death rattle from the top end. And if you fancy a turbo, and why not, here's a nice A-Reg for just 1,500 quid, you need to try the Wilson Wallop test. To check if your turbo is fit, get the engine running, hot, and then boot the throttle as hard as you can. And if it spews out white smoke at the back, you know your turbo's kippered. A 900 can easily cover 400,000 miles as long as it's been cosseted, so always make sure you've got one of these nestling in the glove box. A full service history is worth an easy 500 quid extra. So what's the catch? Well, 900s may be a bit hard riding. The rear legroom may not be terribly generous, but the most serious black mark against the car is pricey main agent servicing, which is why
you need to come to an independent like this.
Because your garage bills will be a lot easier to bear. Around £40 for a 6,000 mile service, 110 for the 12,000, and for the big 24,000 mile job, it'll be 215 quid.
As far as parts goes, it is an urban myth that Saab parts are viciously expensive. Let me demonstrate. This is a genuine Saab air filter for a 900. That would cost you £13. If you wanted one for your Cavalier 1.8L, it would cost you £12. A genuine Saab oil filter. Here, £4.98. For your Vauxhall Cavalier, £4.74. A set of genuine Saab brake pads. £47 for your Cavalier, £48. Saab have actually reduced the prices of parts for older cars, so running a 900 does not mean you will be committing financial harry-carry.
And if you think Saabs are far too sensible and driven by people who wear hats, think again.
Not only can a good turbo muster 125 and give you the best fun ride since the prototype roller coaster, it quietly exudes an image of taste, restraint, discrimination, and new age niceness.
The Saab 900, built like a Merc, safe as a Volvo, and so much cooler than a BMW.
Solid, solid.